Yeah, he can face that way. Right, hello everybody. My name is Peter, and today we're going to be looking at what's inside these two handmade cardboard boxes I got. I think a cool type of pen with a ancient nib, an ancient filling system here with these handmade labels as well. This video is also sponsored by Appeals. They have some cool stuff going on this month. All their panoramic and photo stickers are 20% off. I'm going to stick this one on here. That's one of my own drawings. And make sure you go to appeals.com to check out the new art contest they've got going starting October 1st. The theme is Our Beautiful Earth. Once again, some great prizes, topping out at $500 for first place, but other good ones as well. All right, so today we've got these two little things. Box number 1, box number 2. And here's a little message that came with it. This is all that came in a little package. It says, "Hi, Peter. I wanted to send you something for a long time now, but also make sure it's something you do not already have. Both of these items are my own that I've used for drafting many years, so they are unfortunately used. That's okay. I don't think you can even buy these anymore. I also don't have the original packaging, so I made some myself from some leftover cardboard. These are very nice little boxes. The illustrations are done using these two items only. Well, these illustrations and scaled down to fit, so rip details." There's an asterisk here, and it says, "I'm an engineer, not artist, so sorry that they look like I'm 12 years old." These are very nice. I think we can all agree that these are very nice illustrations and don't look like a 12-year-old did them. They look professional, don't they? The first item is a ruling pen, which I'm pretty sure you're familiar with. The second one is a funnel nib. It's a special pen nib that is the direct predecessor of those fancy rotring technical pens you love so much. Have fun with it. I am curious what you can create with these. Sincerely, ML. Thank you for this, ML. Very cool treat here. I mean, I haven't even opened it yet, but it seems cool just right off the bat. Let's see if we can get this open. A little snip here. A little snip there. Uh-huh. Wrapped in paper. Oh, now this is cool. What do y'all think of this? Anyone seen one of these before? I'm pretty sure I looked these up on Wikipedia once before when I looked at that other handmade pen that someone showed to me, because it had a similar type of nib and that it was two metal things coming to a point here together, but I haven't ever seen one in real life before. So it's cool to hold one, to have one. This is legit. He said he'd used it for years. Let me snip this open. I love these little boxes. Made of cardboard. How do I open it? It's like a puzzle. This is like glued shut. Here we go. Oh, look at that. That does look interesting. I can see how it is the predecessor of my technical pens. There's like a hole in the top. I guess you just put ink in there. I wonder what the preferred method for... Oh, look, you push this down, push this wire down, and it comes out the top of the nib. Can you guys see this action here? It goes in and out. That's what's been going on inside my technical pens the whole time. I don't know if y'all can see that, how easy it is to see. See, look, there's the wire going in and out. That's so cool. That is really like a very simplified version of a technical pen. And this is like a very simplified version of a fountain pen or something. I guess you can tighten this little thumb screw down and adjust the distance between these two tines. Wonder what the right distance is. Okay, test page. These test pages. I love how it feels in my hand. Like, of course, I almost always say that about totally metal pens like this. It feels like a tool. You know, I love that about it. It's just like a precision instrument. Utilitarian. Okay. How about some more of this Konpeki? I did have all of my Iroshizuku inks lined up right here, and then I had a bottle of platinum black carbon over here on the other side of my desk, and there was like some weird fault line in the space-time continuum because about 2 or 3 nights ago, you can still see there's still some ink under the edges of my fingernails. All in about 1 hour, maybe in about half an hour, I knocked 2 bottles of ink off the table at the same time, each off one side, and I have never, ever done that before. And it happened all at the same time almost. It's like the forces of nature or luck aligned against me, and at one point I went one elbow, knocked one of these off, and that the Iroshizuku bottle didn't break. But then I knocked the platinum black carbon ink bottle off, and it's the cap that broke. The glass doesn't break, it's the cap that shattered, and all the ink came splattering out everywhere. I posted a picture on Twitter. I got all the ink up off the tile, but it's the grout that got stained. Okay, let's see. I don't know if I have it spaced out right, or even if this is good ink. The ink is like hanging there between the tines. Oh, it's so scrapey. Very, 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 very satisfying. It's like the tip of a knife. I wonder if I should adjust it at all or just leave it since it's working. Like, what's the point of adjusting it? Just to get it working? I feel a little bit overwhelmed having 2 different types of nibs here to use. I might save this one for another video. I kind of just want to concentrate on this one right now and then come back to this one. It's like sharp and crisp, but it also flows perfectly. Like, I have no complaints about this. I mean, what's not to like? Okay. That's how you know it's a good pen. If you start just scribbling some lines like that and it just makes you want to draw a picture like it. If the pen itself inspires you and gets you excited about drawing, right? Yes. Thank you, ML. This person only signed it, ML. Thank you for this pen. It's nice. I love metal pens. All right, so I'm going to do 2 drawings with this pen. I'm going to put the black and white one first, and then we'll follow it up with a slightly more colorful one where I actually use the dip pen to dip into a few of my colorful bottles of ink, because the dip pen is almost all dip pens, whether it's one of these ruling pens or a glass dip pen or a more classical, like speedball dip pen that you might be more familiar with. All dip pens kind of share that feature that they are good for quickly switching between inks, and that you don't have to fill up a reservoir or a cartridge or a piston converter or anything like that. You can just dip them, rinse them off, switch inks, and you're good to go. So I thought, hey, I put this black and white one first, even though chronologically it was second, because in my mind, in my mood, and stylistically, it felt like more of a sketchy, quick warm-up. So I'm putting it first, and then followed up with the more colorful one, where I used a light blue ink and a light pink ink, but putting those together on a white piece of paper inadvertently kind of turned out to look like a red, white, and blue kind of a patriotic drawing. It's not necessarily America. There are a lot of countries that use red, white, and blue. Why is that? If you look at all the flags of the countries in the world, there's a lot of red, white, and blue colors. Those are the main colors, I guess, because those are just very high contrast colors. They typically stand for, like the colors red and white and blue typically stand for like things like freedom and bravery and liberty and I don't know, just stuff, that you have to go research. What's the study of flags called? Vexillology? Vexillology. I was right. I can't believe I was sure I put an extra illol in there. The study of flags. Anyways, sometimes you accidentally run into themes like that. Sometimes, for example, I think I start out with a red, and then I think, what would go good with red? Oh, how about some green? And then I accidentally find myself neck deep in a Christmas theme, right? So to me, when there's black and white drawing, I usually just do the black drawing, right? Draw with black ink, but then there's color. Drawing with color is almost a whole different medium, just as different as drawing is to painting. Almost, it might be as different as drawing is to playing an instrument, or as different as drawing is to walking down the street. That's how different drawing in black and white is to color, right? I don't know. It's just that much different. There's so many other decisions and things you have to consider when you're using multiple colors. I mean, I guess you don't have to consider them. You get to consider them. They might come into consideration. I don't know, but maybe that's why I don't enjoy it as much, just because I haven't done it as much, and so I don't feel as comfortable with it. So if I wanted to become more comfortable with drawing with color, the only thing to do is do it more. But I might not want to, so I might not. That's really all it comes down to. Just like anything else, if you want to get good at it, really just got to put in the hours, get comfortable with it, and then you'll start to improve. I think, like with any hobby or skill, you got to get used to the tools first, so the tools stop being a hindrance to you. The tools have to become a kind of an extension of yourself. And when you're drawing with color, I feel like the colors themselves, the color theory, maybe all of that is kind of part of the tools. All of it's kind of boiled away when it's just black and white drawing, but I don't know. Anyways, when it comes down to this pen, I think there are maybe a few things that are left to figure out about it for me. It felt good the whole time I was using it, but first of all, one thing we could figure out is if other inks would work better with it, because I was using fountain pen inks, and I think with some dip pens, things like India inks might work better, because those are a little bit thicker, maybe. India inks don't work good in fountain pens because they gum up the insides, I think. A little bit too sticky, or something about them is not good for fountain pens most of the time. There are, like, if you look on Kickstarter, there's a few like special fountain pens that are specially designed to have India ink inside of them, and I think I had one of those. I think it was called the India Graph, and it was they went to great lengths to keep the nib of the fountain pen wet all the time with a special water reservoir inside the cap of the pen. But so most fountain pens you don't want to put India ink in, but dip pens, it might work actually better, because more of it might be able to get up in there between the tines or something. So I want to try this again with India ink, which I don't actually have much India ink. So maybe I'll get a couple bottles of that, try it again. And look, I'm a little bit hesitant to say too much about ways that this pen could work better, or speculate about any deficiencies the pen might have, because the guy who sent it said didn't he say he'd been drawing and drafting with it for hundreds and millions of years already, so it must work good. Like, it seems like it's been proven already, but it did seem like, also, I don't know, maybe I was holding it wrong, like my grip, right? I was holding it at a pretty sharp angle at like at least 45 degrees. And maybe this is one of those pens that is actually intended to be held like perpendicular to the paper, straight up and down and dragged across the paper like that. I was holding it at an angle, and it is one of those pens where as you adjust the angle of your approach to the paper, you can get some different line widths. But it also seemed if I flipped the pen over and held it, you could pretty much do it two different ways. One way it worked and one way it didn't. It seemed like it had almost been worn down over the years. So there's a bit of a slice carved into one side of it, if that makes any sense. Kind of like a chiseled tip. And I wonder if I would ruin it at all if I rubbed it a little bit with some of that. Like there's some very, very fine grit paper you can use when tuning nibs, like fountain pen nibs. It's like, what was it, like 40,000 grit paper? It feels like normal paper, but it's actually super, super, super fine grit paper. Unless someone tells me it's a good idea, some of this seems like they know what they're doing. I probably won't bring this particular pen anywhere near. I won't make any adjustments to this pen. Let me tell you that, because it's almost like a special heirloom to me. If I get another ruling pen, maybe I'll mess around with that one. But, this one, it's like, I don't want to mess with it. And I know it's functional, but I don't want to try tweaking it too much apart from turning the little wheel on the side. And one of the tines is adjustable. It's not attached to the rest of the pen in the sense that it's kind of like a jawbone in that sense, that part of the construction. The bottom jaw's held and pushed into the top of the skull by twisting that little thumb screw, if that makes any sense. I doubt that makes any sense. But anyways, I will say that this drawing was, I got some inspiration from the drawings of Margaret MacDonald. I think she lived in like the 1800s, early 1900s, and she and her husband, Rennie, was that his name? Rennie Mackintosh. They were like artists, designers, architects maybe. I'm not sure, but they were part of like the Art Nouveau movement. Maybe they had early progenitors or early forefathers of like Frank Lloyd Wright type stuff, perhaps. I'm not sure. I don't know how everyone fits together, but I was looking at some of her art, some of her drawings, the way stuff swooped together. Obviously, go Google her, Margaret MacDonald, and hopefully you'll see kind of where my thing connects to her drawings and be blown away by her drawings. Of course, hers are way cooler. And she did all this hammered metal stuff where she get like metal plates and hammer designs into them. I'm not entirely sure how that works, but someone please tell me what kind of metal I should buy, and do I put like something soft underneath them, and do I use like what kind of hammer, and is there like a chisel involved, or how does it work? It looks so cool. Anyways, I'll Google it on my own. Don't worry, you don't have to tell me. But I have to go now. I'll see you later. Okay, bye. Thanks for watching.